This short video will show you how within 5 minutes you can have Logic installed, set up, and be using it. I just finished entering my key code from my CD-ROM, and Logic's going through some of the initial setup that it does. It doesn't do this every time you start the program, but the first time you run it, it needs to create some internal tables and so forth that it needs. The first time you run Logic, it comes up with this screen. It wants to know my latitude and longitude. If you know your latitude and longitude, you may enter them here. Remember, if you're in the United States or anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, your latitude is negative. But if you're like most of us and don't know exactly what your latitude or longitude is, Logic will give you a very close approximation. If I'm in the United States, I enter my state and zip code, and Logic will take that and give me the zip code of a post office that's about 5 miles from here. If you're a DX station that doesn't have a state and a zip code, enter your call sign here, and Logic will give you an approximation based on your call sign. Enter your call sign over here. Logic needs this when it's contesting and for some other purposes. Your address and station information, Logic needs to know this information to put on a QSL card. Oh, I forgot my zip code. Some information about yourself that shows up on QSL cards, and the handle and QTH that you're going to use on the air. This will be sent automatically by Logic's function keys when you're operating RTTY or CW, packet, so forth. I click OK. Logic updates my beam headings worldwide for the table, and then asks if I want to redraw the map. I tell it yes, it draws a new map centered on my QTH. And then it brings up the log form. Note that what you see on your screen in this video is a lot more crowded and a lot smaller than what you would see when you install Logic on your machine. I'm using an 800 by 600 pixel video capture window, so everything's kind of crowded together here. But this is the log form. I already have some data in here just to illustrate. The log form has two parts. The browse form is for viewing the data. It shows several records at once as a quick way to page through it, see a lot of information at once. The data window is what's used for editing and entering data. I'm going to unlock these two windows so I can move them around freely and independently of each other so we can see everything. These buttons at the bottom of the form, and there's also a duplicate of most of them on the browse window, allow me to do the different data manipulation functions in Logic. Hold the mouse on top of these or almost anything else in Logic. It tells me something about that field or that control. To add a new record, I click the plus button here, or I could type Control N. I type in my call. I press Tab. And let me type in some other information. I'm logging myself here. I don't have the radio connected, so I need to manually log my frequency. I don't need to log the frequency, actually that's optional, but I do need to log the mode and the band. Notice the time was filled in automatically for me. And say I want to request a QSL for this QSO. I'm done logging the QSO. I don't need to push save. I don't need to do anything else. I merely proceed to use Logic to do whatever I want to do next. I can exit the program. I can add a new QSO, whatever I want to do. This QSO will be saved automatically. Let me turn on the call book. When I installed Logic, I selected the option to install the call book, or if I have an internet connection, just tell Logic to automatically log from the call book. And now let's put in somebody else. Logic is going out to the French website to get the name and address of this station. And notice the info window gives me beam headings, the distance there. I can click on the CIA button to get information about that country. Gives me a flag. It's running a little slow here because I have the video capture software going, and I think it may have pulled that off of the internet rather than the local copy. I can see what the weather's like there. Some other features that are useful for logging are the previous QSOS window. With that window up, it shows other QSOs with any station I work. Let me put in W1AW, and it shows me all the other QSOs that I had with W1AW. The memberships form shows me any memberships that that station belongs to. Like I said, I had some data already in this log when I started for illustrative purposes. If you have data in other programs that you would like to import into Logic, you go to Tools and Import Log Data. You can import ADIF, which is supported by almost all other programs currently on the market. Some of the older programs you can import from this import facility, where we had to write a special import program for each program. So this gives us a summary of how to set Logic up, how to use it. There's still a lot to learn about Logic. We do encourage you to look at the other videos, or read the manual, use Logic's online help. The more you know about this program, the more amazed you'll be at the different things you can do and how easy even some of these advanced features are.